We got some major breaking news as it has been announced this evening that Cam Waters will make his NASCAR debut next weekend at Martinsville Speedway. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel and welcome back to the video. As I just said a second ago, we got some pretty massive major breaking news coming out of the NASCAR world. As it has been announced that Cam Waters will officially make his NASCAR debut next weekend at Martinsville. He will join ThorSport Racing in the number 66 truck at Martinsville in his debut. Here's a press release from ThorSport Racing. Cam Waters is teaming up with the ThorSport Racing to pilot the number 66 Ford Performance F-150 for the Long John Silver 200 at Martinsville Speedway on Friday, April the 5th. Keep your eyes peeled for another thrilling announcement coming your way soon. Stay tuned. So it looks like ThorSport Racing, which we'll discuss that a little bit as well, looks like they've got another pretty big announcement as well coming soon. But let's talk about this big announcement. Cam Waters is making his NASCAR debut. Now, I go back to earlier this year when we talked about this on the channel. There was a lot of rumors circulating that Cam Waters was going to be driving the Sage 60 car that RFK Racing was going to be bringing into Cup. They debuted that car with David Reagan in the Daytona 500 and were able to qualify their way in, I believe, on time and on speed and didn't have to worry about racing their way in. But it's no secret that Brad Keselowski wants to expand to 3 full-time entries, and Cam Waters is a driver that's been on the list of potential possibility of drivers. But this is definitely a little bit of a shock for sure, because he won't be making his debut in the Cup Series. He's going to be making his debut in the Craftsman Truck Series. Now, we say he won't be the first driver that's done. So I think Marcus Ambrose, he started in the Truck Series and worked his way up. Cam Waters, I think, has a huge ambition for getting into NASCAR, and I love to see that he will get the chance and opportunity. And what we've been seeing over the course of the last couple seasons, especially really last year, is all in part to thanks to Shane Van Gisbergen's first career Cup Series win at the Chicago Street Course. That opened the doors for a lot of Australian and New Zealand drivers in the Supercar Series to come out and try NASCAR. Brody Kosecki also has made his NASCAR Cup Series debut, and there was a lot of rumors he was going to make a couple select starts in the NASCAR Cup Series with Rich Strauss Racing. It is still unclear at this point if that is going to happen because of the Airbus situation that's been going on. I think that still has not been resolved at this point, so it's still a major issue. But going back to Cam Waters, for those who do not know who Cam Waters is an 11-time winner in the Supercar Series and is someone who is a major threat and contender to win the championship this year in 2024. And I think he might be the favorite because Brody Kosecki and SVG are no longer in the series at the moment. So I do believe that Cam Waters is going to be the favorite to win the championship. But Cam Waters also is really high up in the Ford plant to my understanding and knowledge. So this is an amazing opportunity for him in his debut. Now, what are my expectations for Cam Waters? We have to be realistic with Cam. Yes, we saw Shane Van Gisbergen come in his debut, and he did an absolutely amazing job. But his debut for Cam Waters is going to be different than SVG's. He's going to be driving on a short track, a half-mile short track. So it's going to be a much different type of track that he's going to be getting behind the wheel than basically racing in a cup car on a street course, which V8 supercars have ran. Also, the Truck Series is completely different than a V8 supercar, unlike the Cup car with the next gen. So it's definitely a different type of vehicle that we get to see. He'll be joining a long list of drivers who have, of course, driven for ThorSport Racing. You think about Haley Deegan, Ben Rhodes, Jeffrey Earnhardt, I think, drove for the team. No, Kerry Earnhardt, drove for the team at one point. And there's been a lot of drivers who come through the ThorSport Racing power troop and working their way up through the ranks. I do believe that Cam Waters' ambitions is to get over to NASCAR in the future, and I think you're going to start seeing more supercar drivers make the transition away there. Now, what are my realistic expectations for Cam Waters in his debut? Realistically, I don't think Cam Waters is going to compete for the victory. I just don't see that happening. I do think, though, he'll surprise a lot of people, contend for a top 10 or top 15. Because ThorSport Racing, while the team has struggled a little bit this season, they haven't really had the outright pace and speed to contend for victories this year, maybe outside of Ty Majeski and Ben Rhodes at times. They still are one of the greatest Truck Series teams ever. Ben Rhodes is a 2-time champion with this team. Matt Crafton is a 3-time champion with this team. And we've seen a lot of drivers come through the ranks of ThorSport and have been able to carve out some pretty successful careers. I think realistically for Cam Waters, I think a top 10 or top 15 would be very, very realistically good for him. And maybe this could land him to making some more starts in the Xfinity Series and Cup Series down the road as well. Because I do think long-term Cam Waters does want to make Cup starts, because we all know that he's been trying to clamor for that. So we'll see what ends up happening in regards to that. But I'm really happy to see that Cam Waters will be making his NASCAR debut. I think he will do a solid job, honestly. I think he'll struggle in the beginning, but just like how SVG's kind of struggled in starting these races and continues to improve, I do believe that Cam Waters is going to come in here and do a really solid and great job. And you start speculating when will he get the chance and opportunity to drive a Stage 60 car, because it's no secret that Bragg's Aussie, like I said, wants to run that Stage 60 car for a select number of races throughout 2024. I think that is also going to happen relatively soon. Now the question will be who will get behind the wheel of that car. Maybe someone like a Matt DiBenedetto is now part of, I think maybe with Ford's development group at this point now, or working with them. Maybe Haley Deegan, she gets a chance and opportunity to drive a 60. We know that Mike Rockefeller could get a chance. We know there's been some rumblings of other drivers like Ty Majeski have been rumored at one point to drive a 60. In general, it's going to be very interesting there. But going back to Cam Waters, I am very excited about this young driver. He's very young still, and he's got a lot of time in his career to make the move over. Does he stay with Supercars for the near future? Yes, I think he at least will stay in Supercars for at least a relatively short future. But I do think long-term, when you look at Cam Waters' career and where I think he's going to end up heading, I wouldn't be surprised or shocked if he does what Shane Van Gisbergen's done and what Brody Kosecki's trying to do at this point and transition his way over to NASCAR. And I do believe at some point this year, I think he will make his NASCAR Cup Series debut. I think the question will be when it will happen. I look at a track like Watkins Glen. Obviously, we saw Marcus Ambrose be very successful there, and we are expecting Shane Van Gisbergen to be very, very successful with this team as well. I'm excited, though, for him. There's a lot of competition in trucks, so a lot of great talent like Roger Kroof and Corey Heim that will be going up against. And then, of course, you've got Taylor Gray, who's been killing it so far, who's making his Xfinity Series debut this weekend at Richmond. I think that we're going to see Cam Waters do a solid job. I don't know if he's going to do spectacular, but again, I'm just excited to see him getting the chance and realistic opportunity to drive in the Truck Series for the first time in his career, and I'm glad to see he'll make his NASCAR debut next week at Martinsville Speedway. So that is going to be today's special breaking news report on Cam Waters. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, notifications on, so if I win a video, it does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support on Patreon as well. Link description below that, and comment your thoughts below on today's video. Realistically, how do you think Cam Waters is going to do in his debut? And do you think he'll make more starts throughout the 2024 season? Or do you think that he won't make any more starts? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Tomorrow on the channel, we'll have a NASCAR news video discussing news over the course of the last couple of days. We got some charter talk around some organizations looking to get charters. We're going to talk about Long Beach a lot more. We'll talk about this Cam Waters story a lot more as well. And there might be another video dropping if any other major news breaks. Saturday and Sunday, we'll have reactions to the Cup and Xfinity Series races from Richmond and reactions to pole qualifying, among other things. And then the week on Monday, there might be a schedule predictions dropping or some other video dropping throughout the week. I got a ton of great NASCAR content dropping on the channel over the course of the next couple of weeks, and I cannot wait for you guys to check out. And the first silly season update will likely be coming sometime in the middle of April to probably the end of April. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode, and I'll see you guys next time for more awesome NASCAR content and other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.